What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for a fan show, another fan show, as we have beaten Morecambe 3-1 in the FA Cup third round today. And I'll tell you what, they made us work for our money, didn't they?
They most certainly did. Tottenham Hotspur, doing things the hard way since 1882, came out in full effect today. That could have been quite a different fan show if it had gone the other way, but thankfully it didn't.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, what is it about these players, about the Ndombeles, about the Alis, about these kind of players that every time they get given a chance, every time we play against this kind of opposition, they just leave us wanting more every single time. They just don't grab their chances. We know they've got the quality, but especially Ndombele now. I mean, that was shocking from him today.
Yeah, I mean, even by some of the standards that he's hit, and there's been a good few poor performances, this was by far the worst of a bad bunch. And it just goes to show he has not got the mentality. His heart isn't in it. And it's gone with Dele as well. The mentality seems to be a huge part of his game as well, and it's just gone. And we need to get rid.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it was very telling, fans booing him off? Apparently, they were booing off because he was walking so slowly. Harry Kane had to go over him and say, hurry up, and then he started walking even slower, apparently.
Well, that's what I mentioned when he was doing it, wasn't it? When I said at least Dele walked off and at least Kane, Gil was running off. It's disrespectful. Especially when you look, I understand it's a bit of time wasting and sportsmanship if you're winning, but when you're losing and losing to what could have been a huge banana skin, then it just wasn't the right thing. And again, it just goes to show his mentality. It's all about him.
Yeah, in terms of positives today, Harry Winks, most definitely a positive today. Ryan Sessegnon as well. I thought he was most definitely a positive today.
Yeah, he was definitely a positive, especially in the second half. He went to the right side and he was really trying to create. And you've got to remember, he's coming back from an injury. And he picks up these injuries very, very quickly and very, very easily. To see him putting in that kind of effort on his return was quite refreshing.
Shall we see what some of our guests have to say today?
Let's see what a very illustrious guest who comes on first is going to say.
Before we get the guests on, just to let you know, we will be pausing the fan show for the draw for the next round, which should be happening in the next half an hour. But without further ado, let's speak to Mr. Grandpa Brian.
Yes!
Yes, Grandpa. How are you?
Well, I want to talk to you, start with, I want to talk to you about the biggest positive of the game.
Tell me.
Now, there's no doubt in Conte's mind who he's got to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, that's Ndombele, Tanganga and Ali.
Do you think, Grandpa, on the Tanganga one, I mean, we've seen good performances from him in the past. He's a young player coming through. Would you prefer just to cut your losses and get some money in for him, or would you loan him out?
I don't know. I just think he appears to me to have the wrong attitude when he's playing. He's very sort of laid back and doesn't fight enough. And I think we need fighters. We could do that. We could put him on loan and see if that helps. We don't lose anything that way.
Yeah.
And maybe then we'll get a bit more money for him then. But that's my positive. I think what Conte has really seen them playing against a pretty poor team, and they played so badly.
So Grandpa, do you think with Tanganga, just very quickly, you mentioned the mentality, but do you reckon it's a case of we just keep putting him in different positions the whole time, so he's not getting used to a standard position? It's like if there's a space and we need it filling, we just plop Tanganga in there to fill a hole, as opposed to identify an actual natural position for him and constantly let him play there.
Well, if we can find one,
that's a good point.
If we can find one, and I haven't seen one yet. I've been disappointed with him for most of the season, this season, and probably a bit last season too. So I think we just we've got to find some places for new players, and I think we've got to know who we're going to get rid of to do that. And I think they're the three positions that we need to change. On the other side, I thought that Winks was the man of the match.
Yeah,
I thought he played brilliant, and that goal was extraordinary.
Yeah. Do you think he meant it, Grandpa?
Pardon?
Do you think he meant it?
Yeah. I think he meant it. He might have meant it to go in, or he meant it to get very close to the front so that Kane could get his head to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought the very close was Sessegnon. I think that was the most pleasing thing, to see Sessegnon building his way to become a first-team player, and I think that was really good news, because I thought he played really well.
But what is it, Grandpa, about these players, the players that you mentioned, the Ndombeles, the Dele Allis, these kind of players coming in against, lower opposition, but time and time again, they let us down. I mean, we've seen that they've got the ability, but why can't they produce it on the pitch for us?
Well, Ndombele is an enigma. I mean, he does brilliant things and then does bad things, but he does more bad things nowadays than he does good things. I mean, I don't think we've seen him as a man of the match now for quite a while.
Yeah, a long time.
He's got the ability. There's no question about it. And he moved more today. He was running right at the beginning. He made one or two quite long runs and one or two powerful shots, but he made so many mistakes. And we've got to have people that can break through. And I think Brian Gill is. I still reckon that he's going to come really good. He gets in amongst it. He's very young and he's not quite get it quite right, but he really does work hard and goes through the centre. And that's what we need, breaking down the defences, and that's what we need so that we can be closer to the goals when we shoot.
Brian Hill seems to have like a very, very good half, doesn't he? And then the second half or the first half, he's somewhat quiet, and then the second half he comes alive, or the other way round. I don't think he's got up to 90 minutes fitness or strength in him right now, but there are positives with him, like you said, Graham. I completely agree, but hopefully that will grow with time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him playing while Son's out. I'd like to see him playing in Son's position.
Definitely. I mean, it's a big game today, obviously, third round of the FA Cup. We've seen most of the big teams go through, and we've seen shocks in the yesterday with Newcastle losing to Cambridge, Kidderminster beating Reading. In terms of the next round, I mean, is there anyone that you'd like to see? I mean, Boreham Wood have made it into the next round.
Yeah, well, it's always wonderful to see people lowly coming through. I'd quite like to see Arsenal beaten today.
Who wouldn't, Grandpa? Who wouldn't?
But no, I think I thought that I watched the Cambridge game, and I thought that was a really good game. They did very well, but I didn't see the Boreham Wood game. But what did they win by?
They won 2-0 against Wimbledon.
2-0. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, Wimbledon's what? Not
Wimbledon, yeah, they're division above Boreham Wood, I believe.
Boreham Wood, yeah. So they did well. And I think it'd be great for the channel to have a team right on their doorstep.
Literally, yeah, I know. It'll be great if we could draw them away from home. But we'll be keeping you up to date with the draw as and when it happens. Don't you worry about that. But just before you go, I want to ask you about the January transfer window. You've said he knows who he wants to get rid of now, and that's a positive from today. How many are you expecting to bring in this month?
I think 3.
3. Would you be disappointed with any less?
I wouldn't mind 2, but I would be disappointed with 3. I think mainly we need 3. We maybe need more, because I think we've got pretty close to a first team. But what we haven't got is a second team. So if somebody goes down like Son, it's not clear that we've got somebody that's as good as him coming in. And I think defensively, Tanganga is not the man for us, and we need somebody there. But we don't know, because we haven't seen Romero much these days. Yeah. When he comes back, I mean, he was looking good, and when what's his name came on
today? Yeah, Emerson.
When Emerson came on, he did 1 or 2 good things quite quickly.
Yeah,
he needed to.
Yeah, so we've got some good people there, and I think we've got a good team, and I think he's making a good team. I mean, Davis didn't do that badly today.
I thought he played well today, Davis.
Yeah, and he's somebody that's really come on under Conte.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Graham, I just want to extend on that. When you said 3 players in, do you mean 3 players literally through the door, or do you mean any of those signed on pre-contract?
Coming in through the door. Yeah, I want to see us really go for at least fourth. I think
Do you
that
think
would
we
be.
can get fourth without any signings, or you think that's?
I think it'd be difficult. I think it'd be
Yeah.
difficult because it would depend on injuries. It depend on still COVID. So we haven't got replacements for every player there that's as good as the player that we take off,
Yeah.
and that
Okay.
gets a lot injured. And I think that's the important thing that Conte will look at, I'm sure, to have a first team which has got the best that we can buy.
Yeah. Well, let's hope Daniel Levy hears your message and we do get some signings through the door. But Grandpa, always great to speak to you, and we shall speak to you soon.
See you soon, Grandpa.
Good to see you, Brian.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure.
You do.
Cheers, Grandpa. We've got a few super chats to get through. One from Victor Matthiasen saying, Delhi and Tanguy worst performance this year. Jesus. Hill also poor, but he has heart. Lo Celso and Sessegnon was a positive. They need to keep playing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much spot on. Easy F saying Tanganga is nowhere near top level, needs a loan or move on permanently. And I think that's also spot on, isn't
Correct. I mean, I personally would favour a loan, but obviously if the club go the other way, then all I hope with that is there's a buyback clause in it with him, because I reckon there's a player there, but one or the other needs to happen.
And Spursy McSpurson says, funny how loan moves for Skip and Sessegnon help them push forward and progress in their abilities and confidence. Tanganga needs the same.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've been saying a lot during this stream, isn't it?
Wholeheartedly. Like I said, there is a player there, and we know where his heart lies. A loan, I think, will really rejuvenate him.
All right, let's keep going, and let's go to Cody McDo. Yes, Cody, how's it going, brother?
King of the Clippers.
Oh yeah, it's all right. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good, man, good. Your audio seems a bit low.
How about this?
Didn't seem to make a difference. No, we'll make it work. But well, what's going on with this team, Cody, man? Every single time we kind of play this kind of level of opposition, they make us sweat for it, or they just don't win. I mean, well, would you put your finger down on it? Why is Ndombele performing like this? Why does Dele Alli perform like this on a consistent basis?
I don't know, man. There was a time during this game where it looked like for the third time in 10 months we were going to become an utter embarrassment in world football.
Yeah.
We had Zagreb, we had Mura, and we almost had Morecambe today. I mean, these players just aren't good enough. I mean, when you look at that starting 11, there's probably 5 players that I would genuinely get rid of, and then another couple of players that I would loan out to try and develop them. That you're talking about a quarter of the squad, a quarter of the first team that simply isn't good enough to like regularly be trusted to contribute at the highest level. And this isn't even anywhere near the highest level what we were dealing with today. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty sad. It was a pretty sad display for a long time. Pretty sad that we can't leave Harry Kane out of a match day squad against a League One relegation threatened side. You know, pretty sad that we have to bring on Lucas Moura and Harry Kane and Oliver Skipp. Like we can't give our best players a day off in maybe the easiest game that we're going to have this year. It's pathetic. It's the state of the squad is absolutely pathetic. And I really had hoped that with the appointment of Antonio Conte, that it would signal a change in the way that the club approaches the way that they do business. But we're 9 days in. January is now almost a third of the way gone, and we haven't done anything at all. So yeah, I mean, look, we're you think about Conte, his first game, you know, how much energy, and he was riling up the crowd, and you know, he was galvanizing the entire club, it seemed, breathing life back into it. And now, you know, the efforts of one man can only go so far. You can literally just see the life force being drained out of the man. It'll be one of the darkest days in a long time for Spurs if and when Conte decides that this is not worth his time. I mean, easily this is the worst team he's ever managed. So
Clearly, by some way, probably by some way. with Ndombele, right? He gets substituted off after an absolutely disgraceful display. He's walking off like we're winning 5-0. Harry Kane has to go over to him to hurry him up, and he walks even slower. He gets booed off the pitch as he's walking down. He goes straight down the tunnel. I mean, is that very telling for you? Is he off this January?
I think he wants to be. I think everybody wants him to be at this point. I mean, there's a few truthers that still are holding out hope, but I mean, it was a microcosm of Ndombele's Spurs career. Let's face it, there's been very, very few bright moments for him in his 2.5+ years. At this point, personally, and I really did hope that things would work out for Tanguy. Every time that we switch managers, I think maybe this one will be the one that gets a tune out of him. But at this point, I would honestly give Ndombele away for free to anyone that would take on his wages. I mean, this is a classic example of sunk cost fallacy. We can't look at how much we paid for him. We can't look at what we could get for him on the open market. We owe him 36 million in wages still. If somebody wants to take that on and take that off our books, I think it's like everybody has been in a workplace where someone is being paid too much to do too little, and they're not applying themselves. They're lazy. They don't. And listen, it's poisonous. It's poisonous in any workplace, let alone a team environment like you see at a football club like this. It's no wonder that at times over the last couple of years, other players have been looking around and saying, "Hey, man, I'm getting paid pennies compared to what this guy is getting paid. Why should I be working my ass off when he can't be arsed to do the right things, eat the right food, train properly, apply himself?" You know, it's hugely, hugely frustrating. And this was a question that we had on one of Brian Daigle's streams on Tottenham on Tour, which, by the way, everybody subscribe. They're getting close to 2K.
Checks in the post, Cody.
We've hit 2K.
We've hit 2K.
We've eclipsed 2K. Come on.
We're almost
right on.
100. But
Nice.
thank you for the plug. Your check's in the post, Cody.
Absolutely. Listen, there was a question asked, who do you think is the weakest link in the squad right now? And everybody had their answer and everything. And my answer was Ndombele, because not only is it a problem for all the reasons that I've just spoken about, but that's resources. That's like either one really great player on 200K a week that we could be paying, or two quite useful players that could be improving our starting 11. So it's just an awful situation with Ndombele, and it reached a bit of a boiling point there today.
Cody, your thoughts on Harry Winks today?
I think he was really good. I thought he was our man of the match. I don't think that Grandpa Brian, I know you're like still back there watching. You're Mr. Positive. There's no way he meant to do that. No way. 0% chance. Okay.
So
that
Cody,
was
Cody, on that, do you think he meant the corner as well that Dele Alli flicked on?
Yes.
You reckon? Okay.
Yeah, I think he did. But and then he was looking thirsty after that. He had that one shot from outside the box. It was almost another worldie. Like, it's listen, some of these players that have been under criticism for a long time by Spurs fans, there's nothing that any Tottenham fan wants more than to see them be successful. So when you see a player like Harry Winks, who appears to be turning a little bit of a corner, and let's take it with a grain of salt because it is Morecambe, but he's playing better than he has in three plus seasons. So it's great to see. If we could get a couple other reclamation projects over the line, maybe it would only take a few players in the January window for us to sneak into that top 4 spot.
Well, for me, it just ties into what you were saying. When you went back to tagging Ndombele, you're not eating right, not training right, not whatever, and he's earning that much. It's why you got to give people like Winks and Ben Davies a lot of credit, because we know for sure they're nowhere near the wage that an Ndombele is, and they have taken this opportunity and really grabbed it with both hands. And it just goes to show, like you said, the poison that Ndombele could be with what he's earning and the way he conducts himself. He's got to be one of the first to go, hasn't he?
I just don't. I've never seen a player less interested in doing his job.
It's crazy, isn't it? For the amount of money he's earning, it's just absolutely crazy.
He's done more than Son.
It's mental. Yeah. 200 grand a week the guy gets, and he can't even be asked to to make a pass today. I mean, every time he got the ball, he lost the ball today, pretty much every single time. I mean, let's talk about a bit more positives from today. I know the positive is we're into the next round. Harry Winks, you've spoken about. Anyone else? Anyone else comes in for some positive praise today?
Not really. No, I mean, nobody really covered themselves in glory. I thought Ryan Sessegnon had some bright moments. It was interesting when Conte inverted the wing backs. You know, obviously he wanted them cutting in on their strong side to try and make those crosses. Yeah, so Sessegnon, it's good to see him back from an injury, and we have to hope that he can stay healthy now. Lo Celso, 88 minutes from him. You know, I just don't want to wake up tomorrow morning to find out that he's going to be out until March. You know, Brian
He's
Hill,
out until the Argentina game, apparently.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Him and Romero. Brian Hill, I think, is one of the players that could really use a loan move. You know, we have this awful habit of bringing players in who are not quite fully developed players, and then they fall behind in the depth chart and can't get regular playing time, and it hurts their career trajectories. I mean, when was the last time that we developed a player, a young player, without sending him out on loan?
Yeah, we haven't. I don't even think we have.
No, we haven't. So if these players at 19, 20, 21 years old aren't ready to be playing a key role for the team and getting regular minutes, then they need to go somewhere where they can get that exposure and hopefully become the players that with the potential that we bought, you know, because, you know, Brian Hill, he's just a kid still. So it's important. These are very important developmental years for him. We can't be squandering them.
Would you say that's the same case for Japhet Tanganga as well?
Yeah, Japhet's in a bad way right now, but that's another perfect example where it's like, how is he supposed to improve or even maintain a level of consistency when there's nothing that replaces actual time in a game? There's nothing that replaces time on the pitch. You can train all you want, you can do your shadow exercises and everything like that, but nothing can replace the intensity of being up against an opponent. And you know, we saw in the Chelsea game, it's just, you know, ever since the Man City game, first game of the season, it seems like it's been steps backwards for Japhet, and it's really hard to watch because he's one of our own, and everybody wants Japhet to succeed, but he doesn't really appear to be good enough at this point, and it's questionable as to whether or not he will be. Most certainly, it doesn't look like he's a good fit for Antonio Conte, who wants to be able to play out from the back. That's kind of Tanganga's weakest part of his game, is being able to be on the ball and make passes, and that was evident. That first goal against Chelsea midweek was, you know, I'm not going to put it all on Tanganga because, you know, there was an opportunity to pass the ball forward and Højbjerg went straight backwards, so, you know, he was unnecessarily put under pressure. But that's a very simple play that he should be making to complete that pass to Emerson Royal, and it was just costly. And today, that's just terrible defending. He's marking nobody, sticking a leg in. How is it that a corner is getting all the way onto the foot of an attacking player in the middle of the 6-yard box? It's comical. It's comical defending, and I'm just hoping that he's a little bit low on confidence at the moment, and you would understand that from a young man who's bounced around and not been given regular playing time. But whether it's a loan move or I don't think I would even be opposed if some of the rumors about him being included in a deal for a player from Juventus there, who is it, Kulusevski. I don't know. I don't think I would be too torn up if he was moved on at this point.
All right, Cody, always great to speak to you, my friend, and we shall speak to you soon, brother.
See you later, buddy.
All right. Yeah, back Conte, you bald prick.
No comment.
Love that, Cody. Glory, my friend.
What a finale. What a finale.
I think the draw is seconds away, but no, carry on what you were about to say.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that's exactly. Cody echoes my sentiments exactly. Let's just hope. I mean, one thing again, like we said with the Chelsea game, this has clearly shown that we need some players in now. That's the thing. It's echoed it again, hasn't it?
We say back Conte or Levy out, but it's going to be back Conte or Conte's going to be out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've said many times, I don't think he goes in January, or February, sorry. But if this happens like the first month or two of the summer, then yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. And we can't allow that to happen. But we still got a long way to go on that. And let's hope that someone can disillusion me, or not disillusion me, surprise me, and we can all be happy.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of any other positives today, we've spoken about Winks a lot. I actually thought Ryan Sessegnon had a fairly good game today.
Yeah.
Is he putting himself in the question now for that left wing back role in the first team?
So Reguilon has been poor, and the way I say poor, I mean when he came, he was like a runaway train. His crossing was fantastic. His energy, his crossing seems to have eluded him recently, but it's nice and refreshing to see. We actually have one position now where we can say we have two people that can do the job there. Sessegnon, all right, it's only been a couple of games. The Liverpool one mainly, all right, he played against Norwich or Brentford, or maybe even both. But he came on today and looked fresh. And all right, it was Morecambe, but he's just come back straight from an injury. So to get the minutes that he did, to be as direct as he was in the second half is a positive thing. So I reckon there's a genuine competition for that place. It's not Reggie's hands down, and that's what we want to see.
Exactly. That's what we need in literally every single position on the pitch. And when you look at it, the centre-backs, they don't really have any competition. You know, Joe Rodon and Tanganga not really doing it at the moment. Nobody seems to fancy Joe Rodon. Right wing back, you know, we've got Emerson there, who everyone's complaining about. And you've got Matt Doherty as a sub, who everyone knows isn't good enough. You've got the central midfielders where Ndombele, he's not cutting it. Lo Celso, I mean, he needs to step it up big time. Yeah, fair enough. You got Højbjerg, Skip and Winks, who are all, you know, doing it for us. But still not enough cover there. You got up front, you got Harry Kane. I mean, it's quite evident what's going on there with the striker positions. And there's just a lack of everything all around the pitch, isn't there?
So, you know what? The one thing I want to highlight, I can't remember. Did you tell me Dyer was on the bench?
No, but I believe he is back.
Yeah, no, he is back. It was just whether they were talking whether he got a start. I don't know how I feel. I was quite happy that he didn't start, but I thought he might have got some minutes just to get some freshness ready for Chelsea and Arsenal. But it's just gone to show in these two games again how important he is, because the two games the defence has looked a bit ropey at times. So yeah, but that's the thing. As you were just talking, I would say, in all honesty, the left wing back position is the one where there is actually genuine competition, where we're genuinely satisfied with the two we've got there.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got a lot of work to do, don't we? In this January, I mean, we can only do like a very small percentage of that work. And probably even by the end of the summer, we won't be able to do all the work that we need to do. But we need to start.
Dyer is injured,
soon.
apparently. There's loads of people in the chat now, even I think it's Simeon, saying Dyer is injured. There we go.
For God's sake, man. I've never thought I'd miss Eric Dyer so much.
Exactly.
How can we go into these games with no Dyer and no Son? Why these injuries always come at the worst time, man?
Well, again, it's injuries. I mean, every club gets it, but a lot of clubs have the strength in depth to then say, OK, you're out, we'll put this one in. And as we know, unfortunately, we're not at that point just yet.
All right, I think the draw is about to happen any second now. Let me go over to the channel and see what's going on.
So let's see what happens.
You got Roy Keane and Ian Wright spouting. Well, they say they're going to go over to the draw at 10-2. It's now 12-2, so maybe we'll give it a couple more minutes.
Let's do that.
Who else we got waiting in the back end? We got Sim. We can bring Sim on for the draw as well. Why not? Yes, Sim.
Hey, Sim.
Yes, you all right?
How's it going?
You all right? Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, it wasn't the best game of football, was it? Let's be honest. We got away with one.
What do you mean? It was an enthralling game today.
Edge of your seat.
We completely got away with it. I mean, let's be honest. Look at the goals we scored. I mean, Winks actually claiming in this post-match interview that he meant it this time. He says,
"Really?
I meant this
Is that
one."
what he said?"
He said he meant it, like being serious. He said, "This one I actually meant." He said, "I was aiming for the back post," which if we did, there's a great finish. But 9 times out of 10 that doesn't go in. Lucas had to tackle, play on the halfway line, which was a massive mistake from the defender. And obviously we get a late goal. We get a goal late on, which they were trying to shepherd the ball out, and they failed to do that, and we capitalised on the mistake. So yet again, a situation where we're failing to create proper chances from open play. Third game in a row now. Southampton, Watford, and now Morecambe. Yeah. In terms of selection and all that stuff, I think Kane needed a rest today. We shouldn't have needed him.
Exactly.
We played Dele and Hill up front. I mean, there was just no presence. There was no presence up front whatsoever. I think an underrated thing is the physicality of our players. I think that it's just a big, it's a big underrated asset which you need to be playing up front. You need to be able to hold defenders off and things like that. And Dele and Hill weren't able to do that whatsoever. They were just bullied. They were out the game. They weren't able to get in behind at all. And we didn't lay a glove on Morecambe, to be honest, for most of the game, until we brought on Kane and Lucas. It was embarrassing how little, chances. The only chances I remember us making were Dele from the corner. And
a few Lo Celso pop shots. That's about it.
Lo Celso had a pot shot. Oh, I think the draw's happening right now, by the way.
All right, let me turn it on to the channel and we'll carry on this after the draw.
All right.
But stay there, Sim. We'll get your reaction to the draw as well.
Okay, sure.
Right, the draw is happening. You've got David James. You've got no Spurs contingent in there to draw us out a nice draw, unfortunately. But let's go for Bournemouth. Sim, who do you want?
You'll go
I want Boreham Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love Boreham Wood. A nice local trip.
I can't think of Kidderminster.
You want Kidderminster? Yeah, the easiest draw possible, please.
What exactly? Just as...
I think Sim's trying to talk, but we can't hear him because the TV...
No, I wasn't. But I do want Boreham Wood.
Boreham Wood, yeah.
That would be my pick. Obviously, Nottingham Forest would be nice.
All right, let's turn it back onto the draw.
Let's have a look.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're doing it now. Yeah, just waiting patiently. Conte said a few interesting things.
It must be weird doing it at Wembley when there's actually nothing going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing going on in that stadium or anything.
Boreham Wood away would be ideal for me.
Here we go.
You're probably a bit ahead of me.
Do you want to do the home teams or the away teams? Let's do it professionally.
I'll do the home teams. You do the away teams.
There we go.
Because I'm at home and you're away.
Look how that worked. Look how that worked.
This is
All right, David James putting out the home sides. I think we're 17, I believe. Oh. Number 18, Crystal Palace, the first team out the hat.
We'll play number 14, which is Hartlepool United. Jeff Sterling will be happy.
Yeah, a nice easy draw for Crystal Palace. Number 2 is the next home tie, Bournemouth.
And they will play Boreham Wood. So Simeon's dream tie, Ben's dream tie is over. Oh, and Simeon's. Okay, I was right. Ben and Simeon.
Bournemouth. Huddersfield at home.
We'll play number 27, Lucas Moura. Barnsley.
Not NS
What
Mirren.
number are we?
Peterborough United. Wouldn't mind this one.
We'll play QPR.
Peterborough at home to QPR. Next one is 26. Ledley King. Cambridge United.
Oh, this is one. This is one.
Come on.
My lucky number.
Robbie Keane.
Luton Town.
Cambridge Luton. Southampton, the next home tie.
We'll play Coventry City.
No all Premier League ties.
Yeah, that's quite concerning, isn't it?
Number 5, who are
Oh,
Chelsea.
no.
Oh, boy.
No. Number 23, Sol Campbell, Christian Eriksen, which is Plymouth. Argyle.
Obviously, another
All right.
easy draw for Chelsea.
Yep.
Everton at home.
We'll play. Brentford. There's the first Premier League team.
There we have it. The first all Premier League tie.
There's some big teams in there. Come on, Kidderminster. Come on.
Harriers
Come on, this is my pick. Come on.
Come on.
17.
Ah,
West Ham. Oh, this ain't looking...
24. Manchester
no.
United or Aston Villa at
Versus-
home against
Middlesbrough.
God, so Arsenal are still in.
I've got a bad
City
feeling
and
it's going to be
Liverpool
in
are still
City
in.
is still in. Liverpool is still in. 17. This is us. Tottenham
Okay, here we
Hotspur.
go. Tottenham will play.
Hotspur. Who have
Tottenham
we
will
got?
play. Brighton.
Oh, Brighton at home.
We are at home
All
to
right.
Brighton.
Bloody hell, Brighton at home. All Premier League tie there. Liverpool. Liverpool get thrown up to Cardiff.
Cardiff. These.
Not many balls left, so we may as well just stay till the end of the draw. Stoke City.
Against Wigan.
Oh, we got Man City, Arsenal on the cards,
yeah.
I think.
And
Man
Liverpool.
City,
Oh, no,
Arsenal.
Liverpool have been drawn, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, here we
Okay,
go.
Forest or Arsenal at
Arsenal.
home. Sorry, just took your one. Come on. Leicester.
Leicester. That's a tough tie.
Forest or Arsenal at home to Leicester.
Manchester City. Oh, they were so close to getting Man City.
We'll play. Oh. Man City, Fulham. And it's the last draw now, from what I remember.
My
There we go.
laptop's just not charging. Oh,
Wolves versus Norwich. So Wolves, Norwich.
All right. So that completes the draw. The biggest ties have got to be Spurs, Brighton, and Arsenal, Forest against Leicester. Sim, you happy with that draw?
yeah. Brighton at home's a draw, which I think is a draw where you've got to take it very seriously. We can't play a similar lineup that we played today against Brighton. So yeah, I think it's a draw which is a pretty good chance of going through. I think they're probably they'll take it very seriously. It's a tough draw, but it's a draw where you have us as favourites, and they're a good team. So it should be a good game, a good open game of football, I'm hoping. And so I think it's a good draw. I think it's a good draw.
I don't think Conte will want an open game of football.
Well, this is the thing. You look at it, and obviously, rumour mills going. They could be without a Lamptey. They could be out without a Basuma if Villa pursue this interest. And like you said, Simeon, with bringing out an attacking team, do you think Brighton will just do what other managers are doing now? Just low block with Tottenham, and let's just let them just huff and puff. This is the issue, isn't it?
That's the thing at Spurs. Our lack of creativity is there for all to see. We can't even break down Morecambe, let alone anyone else at the moment. So, look, this FA Cup tie is going to be when? What, later this month or in February?
Yeah,
So-
it'll be either late this month or early February, yeah.
So yeah, so there's a lot of time between. There's a lot of games being played between now and the end of the month. So I don't think anyone's deciding how they're going to play this game this early on. But Brighton are a good team. It's not an easy draw, but still, it gives us an opportunity to knock out someone in the Premier League, and it's a draw where we should be favourites still. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's a good draw, and I think I'm pretty happy with that draw. I don't think it's too difficult. I think it's a
Let's
good cup tie.
back on the game today. Ndombele obviously gets hauled off after a disgraceful display. walks off, absolutely strolls off to boos ringing around the stadium, goes straight down the tunnel. What do you think this means for him now?
Yeah, he had to be told by Kane and by Tanganga to get off the pitch. They were both telling him to get off. He was strolling off the pitch, and as the fans' boos were getting louder, he was getting slower. It was like he was reacting to it by trying to piss the fans off. It was not a good situation at all. It does look, it's the type of thing that seems like the beginning of the end. If it wasn't, or the end of the end, really, for Ndombele, if he wasn't at the end already. It doesn't help that his performance was absolutely diabolical today. I've been a big defender and a player advocate of Ndombele, but things like today against a team where he should be taking the piss today. Ndombele, let's be honest, he should be head and shoulders. We've seen him play like Man City and be head and shoulders above some of their players occasionally. So we know he has the talent to dominate today, to be a step above everyone. One thing I would say is there were times he tried to play some quick one-touch football, and some other players weren't really on his wavelength, or there wasn't really that stuff in place. But I felt like he was sulking. He was walking around a lot of the time. He was playing just a one touch pass where he could have taken an extra touch. He decides to do a one touch pass to no one and then just like give up. It was he didn't do anything I can remember, which was positive for the team, and he was rightly the first player hauled off by Conte or whenever it was on the hour mark or whatever.
Do you think it took too long for those subs though?
Yes and no. I think he could have brought them on earlier, but I think he wanted to give that team every chance without Harry Kane to try and break them down. I think he pretty much took it to the last moment until he was like, okay, like they are literally not going to even break down Morecambe. I think he was waiting till like, look, this is Morecambe still. I'm sure they'll come up with something, and then he pretty much waited till the last moment to decide, like, okay, they're literally not going to come up with anything, are they? I think he was probably just as shocked as we were that they actually weren't going to be able to do that.
But after performances against the likes of Mura, I mean, should we and him be shocked about these performances anymore?
Shouldn't be shocked, but you would have think, even a team struggling in League One, you'd be able to come up with something. Just even a shot on target. You know what I mean? We barely even had that, and that was the most disappointing thing. And the fact of the matter is, we have a squad, and unfortunately, unless we want to burn out Kane, we have to use it. So he tried his best, didn't work out. So he brought Kane on for 20 minutes and he won us the game. I think he did that well. I don't think he waited too long, to be honest. I think the fact we won showed he didn't wait too long.
Well, I think we were talking about this last week with Watford. He seemed to make it late, but he got it spot on either way you look at it. But Simeon, to talk about what you were just saying about Ndombele, but then talk about something else. What I like
quickly, he was asked about Ndombele in his press conference. And he kind of deflected a bit. He was just saying he didn't want to answer the question directly. He was asked about what he thought about Ndombele and what him storming down the tunnel. He just said, when fans are disappointed in your performance, you have to prove them wrong by playing well on the pitch, and that's the only way you can prove them wrong. And I've been in that situation where people have been disappointed in me, so I know how it feels. But he just needs to prove people wrong. So that's what he was saying. He didn't want to. I guess he didn't want to be drawn into it too much. But actually, look, with the whole Ndombele thing, as much as he's been, let's be honest, a bit of a disaster at the end of the day, it's still going to be very hard to ship him in this window if it's not going to be a loan. So I think unless we're going to look to loan him out and then really push hard for someone like Kessie, I still think he might be here by the end of the window, unfortunately. I think right now, if I was a betting man, I'd probably say Ndombele will still be here.
So, yeah, I mean, we're with Ndombele, so hopefully he might even be using a player exchange if need be, but we've seen that people might not want to take him. But that walk of shame kind of reminded me of what happened with Xhaka with that lot down the road when he got stripped of the captaincy, when he just was getting booed and he just took it. Yeah. So it's horrible to see. But moving on from him and on to someone very positive, and I know there's three people in yourself, Holly Agambar and Stell, who are very, very defensive of Winks. Very, very. And obviously it's been proven right. I mean, it was another. I mean, it's a few games, but in this new Conte regime, he has most certainly said, right, I'm going to grab this opportunity. I think it's my last and show you what I can do. And he's most certainly doing it, isn't he?
Yeah, another bright spark today for sure. He was definitely forward thinking. Look, we all know it was only Morecambe, so he was given he did have a lot of time with the ball and stuff like that. But again, it wasn't just quick forward passes, which I know he's good at, but it was actually him in deep positions, looking to clip balls over the top, looking to actually penetrate the back four, actually hurt the defense, actually make them think about something. Because it's all well and good, which is also important, you keeping the play ticking along and playing quick forward progressive passes into space, into attackers, which is an important thing to do. But one thing we've definitely not seen from Winks previously is his ability to actually provide killer passes, like actually split defenses in half, actually put a ball over the top and make a chance. And he's definitely been doing that of late, and he did that a few times today. Unfortunately, we couldn't make the most of them for a lot of large parts, but whether he meant it or not, I thought the free kick was pretty decent in terms of the whip he got on it, the power. He claims he meant it, so if he didn't mean it, I'll have to put it down to a great free kick, to be honest. He said he was aiming for the far post, and he said it was definitely meant, and he said he did that because if he underhits it, then there's a good chance it will turn into a decent cross, but he aimed to shoot. That's what he said, so I guess we've got to take it at face value for now. But he was probably him and I would say Sessegnon were definitely the brightest players on the day, and Sessegnon as well.
I think we've lost Sim there.
I think we have.
I think we've lost Sim. Sim? Nah, he's gone. Oh, well.
Really dangerous.
He's back.
Is he back or not?
There?
Sim, you just froze there for like 20 seconds.
Am I still there? That was something my laptop's playing up for some reason, but I'll just wrap it up. I think Session was definitely brightest spark, and he played really well on the right and the left. But you can't make too many judgments in this kind of game. And I think Lucas and Kane won us.
All right, I think.
Look at that pout. Look at that pout that he's frozen on.
But yeah, Sim, you're done.
I'm so happy you said that.
No, you're not back. I can hear you in the back end, but you keep freezing, so we'll just leave it there. But Sim, thanks for coming on, and hopefully we'll see you in the studio tomorrow. It's like I'm getting VAR here from Sim. Sim. All right. Let's move on. And let's go to Wes the King. Wes, how's it going, brother?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm gonna be like how Conte was when he left the tunnel after the game was over with. I'm gonna be pretty much like him. This was disappointing. I'm like, no. Like, he shouldn't have had to put those substitutions in for us to win this game against a third division side. So you can tell by if you looked at Conte's face right in the last couple of seconds of the game, and then how he just shook the hand and walked into the tunnel, that tells you everything. That second string should be able to win this game, no doubt. Like, every single one of those players that we had on that pitch is better than most of all those Morecambe players. So it's ridiculous that he had to put in 3 of our best starting players to actually change something in the game and actually get shots on target and stuff. NWLA and Dele Ali, I'm done with both of them. They're nothing from them, really, nothing from them.
Wes, was this the final straw for you for both of those players today, or had you been like that for both of them a little bit earlier?
It's been like that. I think everybody's been like that with both of them. They have like one good moment, I guess. Like when was that? Like 2-3 weeks ago, they had like one good game maybe. But other than that, I think that was Liverpool game maybe. Other than that, it's been same old like I thought it would be. Winks, another solid job from Winks. If he meant that goal, then he meant that goal.
we found our set piece taker by his corners were good as well today, weren't they?
Yeah. Like you gotta give him credit when credit's due. He actually been playing for the badge. He actually cares. He's been working hard on the pitch, like Conte said. If you get that kind of praise from Conte, he must have been doing. He must have been actually really, really working himself to actually be able to do stuff like he did today. So you have to give credit when credit's due. You know, he's been doing it. So shout out to him. I think another great game, a good game from Hill. I don't agree with Cody about putting him on loan. I think he should be on the rotation at least because I think he can really add some stuff for the team. I think he showed that today. He was one of the only players in the first half to really be looking dangerous, making positive runs forward, going through players with his great technique, with his dribbling. You know, good passing, playing a lot of one-touch football, which is like creating space and getting us down onto the opposite to the opponent's side of the box. He played great today. He showed that he's a step above all the players that did start. He at least showed that. So I think he's a player that we can put on the rotation and possibly keep and just develop him at home instead of loan him out. If he does get loaned out, then it is what it is. But I think he's one of the ones we can keep because who are we going to get to replace him anyway? And from the way it's looking in January or even summer.
Wes, first of all, I love that shirt you're wearing. That's a lovely, lovely shirt. First of all, I think that was the year I was born. Is that from 89?
89. No, that's 91.
That's
91.
91.
That's the cup final shirt, right? Yeah.
Yep, that's the reason I wore it. That's the reason I wore it.
In terms of the FA Cup next round, we've drawn Brighton at home. How happy are you with that draw?
That's a good draw. That's better than getting Man City or any other of these, or Liverpool or something crazy. We can beat Brighton. We can't play the lineup we played today. We can't do that because they got a very solid manager. I think who's the manager? Potter,
yeah.
The manager. Yeah. So he's going to have them playing a certain style, and they're going to be very structured. So that's a good draw though. We're at home. I don't really see too much problem with that. We should have at least that's like end of the January, probably early February. So things may be a little different. May have Son back, may have a couple other players in the squad by that point, because hopefully we made some actual transfers in January, hopefully. But that's the good draw. That's a good draw.
So Wes, with you mentioning that with transfers, and I want to try and get some people's intake on this. Obviously, we know we lack creativity. We know we need creativity. The big rumour is Adama Traore is coming. But obviously, with him starting today, that obviously now cup ties him for even appearing if we do sign him. I mean, what kind of message do you think that sent out, the fact that he's played today?
Who?
Adama Traore. He played for Wolves today, so he's cup tied.
Well, I know I've heard rumors that Barcelona has put a bid for him. Yeah, and I'm like, nobody was looking at him, and now we got all of a sudden Barcelona is trying to get him for like I think 22 mil. They're trying to like go 2 mil up from us. I still and it's been rumored that he's fancies, of course, Barcelona over Tottenham, but I still want him. I think him as a right wing back would be crazy because of his strength. His able to hold up play would be great. His dribbling capability is already there, so he'd be already one of our best like technical players because he can really get past players especially when he's in one-on-one situations. And he will just be a creation machine on that right side. To me, he would be perfect because he has the strength, that scare factor against other managers. They'd be scared of him pretty much. They would not know what to do with him. And I think him playing with like a higher level side like us, I think he'll be able to create a whole lot more and probably get some goals and assists more than what he's getting at Wolves. But now that Barcelona done possibly came to the fold, I have no idea now.
So there's just something I want to add, because someone in the chat, and thank you for saying I can't remember their name, said check Romano's Twitter. And he's just tweeted something 7 minutes ago, which says Tottenham are looking for a solution to sell or loan out Tanguy Ndombele in January. Rumours about AS Roma, but no talks so far, as Italian side are working to sign Sergio Oliveira. Spurs are open to discuss a swap deal included in Ndombele as part of the negotiation, and that was 7 minutes ago. Yeah. So obviously he really hasn't covered himself in glory, and it's now that's it. I think that's writing on the wall, out you go. And I'd actually be surprised to see him play this month.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's going to take a club with balls to take him, to be honest, with everything that's happened at Spurs. But look, let's look at it this way. When he was at us last season, when Jose was at us last season, I mean, he got a tune out of Ndombele quite consistently. So he's probably looking at it and saying, look, I know how to get the best out of this guy, bring him in.
Yeah, I think that if we can get him to some, I don't care what club he goes to, if we can get him off don't have him wear my shirt ever again. Like, that dude is piss poor for me. But if Jose think he can get something out of him at AS Roma, then hey, go.
So I don't know a lot about Roma's team. I can't confess it. When you're looking at this deal with Roma, would it be is there a player in exchange that Tottenham may favour or try to get that
Well, there's a player that we've been linked with quite in the past few months, and that's Nicola Zaniolo of Roma, who's obviously a creative midfielder.
Okay.
So maybe he's one that could potentially happen. I know that him and Mourinho haven't been getting on as well as maybe they would have hoped, but there's definitely a good player in there. I mean, Wes, would you be keen to bring him in?
I haven't seen too much of him, but if he's what you're saying, if he can be that creative player that we desperately need on this club, let's go ahead and let's get something for Ndombele if we can get something out of him, because we're not going to get the money we got back that we paid for him initially. So we might as well get something from him while we're doing that business as well.
Tell me, just before I let you go, transfer window now. What are we? How many days in? We're 9 days in. From now until the end of the transfer window, how many are we going to bring in?
Sure. The way it's looking now, we're probably only going to get one or two. The way it's really looking. It's still early on. I think right now, Levy, he actually goes to the Bahamas to actually go see, talk to Enoch.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone to the Bahamas to speak to Joe Lewis, but who knows what's that about? Yeah. It could be about, what they're having for dinner tonight. Yeah,
could be that too. Yeah. But we should, I don't know. Really, I don't know with Tottenham. I don't know. Like, and it's so strange right now. It's so strange how this club is run sometimes. Mm-hmm. I would hope for at least two players. I would hope.
You would hope, wouldn't you? I mean, I'm saying we need two players at the absolute minimum if we're going to fight on any sort of fronts this season. Are you looking at the same?
Yeah, because we got some big games coming up. We already got Son out for this whole month. We got we got to hope we can stay in the League Cup and get to the final. I don't know how we're going to do it though, but we got things we got to do to really at least hold us off into the summer transfer. If we can get into a decent spot in the league, do decently in the cup runs, and hold us out until we get to summer, so we can really at least do some stuff there. Maybe to have more time. But we got to have something for this season. We have to change up something for this season.
Tell me about it, Wes. Tell me about it. But always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend. And we'll speak to you next time.
Take care, Wes.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. All right, let's keep going. Who have we got on next? No one yet?
No one.
All right, well, just before we do, we got someone coming in. Let's go through some of the comments. Let's see what people are saying.
And what a fantastic guest it will be coming on.
Look who it is. A lot of people saying about Zaniolo that he's also one that has massive injury problems, and he is. I mean, I think he's done his ACL twice in the last 3 years or something. Yeah,
that's that of all injuries. If you're looking into him, that's not the kind that when that flares up, it could be quite regular. Yeah, that's a huge injury. Is it worth? How old is he? Is he still like mid-20s or something?
I think he's like 23 or something like that.
Okay, because Shearer had a couple of nasty ones, didn't he? And obviously, we know what that man did. So who knows? But like I said, I can't really confess to say anything because I don't know enough about him. But if he is, like you said and like Wes said, if he is this creative spark, then we need it from somewhere. We need it from anywhere. So if Conte says we said this many times. If Conte says yes, I say yes.
All right. Let's go to George. And I'm going to leave it with you, Brian, this one, because I just need to sort this press conference thing out.
Yeah, you do that. So, George, first of all, how you doing, buddy? I think you're muted, George.
Is that okay?
That's perfect. That's perfect, mate. So first of all, like I said, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm better after that second half performance, because that first half was, the word I used was abysmal. What would you use?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I was there at the stadium. I rushed back to give my views, because we've actually found I'm coming on after having won a game, so I wanted to do that firstly.
Is this your first time coming on after a win?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
It was, the first half was terrible. I mean, Tanguy was, I don't know what Tanguy was. I mean, he seemed to want to do step overs every time, before he wanted to make a pass. He was just off the pace. I mean, the only thing that he did was straight off, pretty much within a couple of minutes. He ran down the left flank and put in quite a good cross. So I had high expectations, but yeah, after that it just all withered away. I mean, the whole formation didn't seem to be really working. I thought we needed Skippy in there desperately, because I think, I'm not sure what it was, but Gio, in that where he was, it wasn't affecting the game at all. Whether that was because he wanted to have some cover at the back there, for the back three, I'm not entirely sure, but he was just not affecting the game. I thought that he took a couple of free kicks in that first half, which I've seen more conviction in my kids' games, to be honest with you, in taking a free kick. And that was the whole issue for me in that first half. There was so little conviction with anybody. It just seemed to be a mechanical, methodical attempt to play an FA Cup tie. FA Cup ties are not played like that. FA Cup ties, especially if you're playing Morecambe at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they are coming there to play their cup final. They're not looking to go beyond there. That's their day. And if they do cause an upset, fantastic for them. And really, I think that team that went out there was thinking that this is going to be a walk in the park, and it was dreadful to see. Dreadful.
So do you know what? You're the first person we've spoken to, George, that was actually at the game. So tell us what your thoughts and what the actual atmosphere was around the ground about this big thing with Ndombele getting booed off. Well,
I made a promise to myself that I would never be critical of football players after what happened to Christian Eriksen. Okay. So I was quite critical of him before he left Tottenham. Not in a bad way. I just don't think that that Christian's mind was on the job at Tottenham. He just decided he wanted out. But in this instance, I will say that Tanguy's exit from the pitch was dreadful. To delay, we needed a goal to effectively keep us within this tie.
Yep. And
he was wasting time coming off the pitch. And I was seething, and I don't lose my rag easily. And I was absolutely seething. I thought, what are you doing? Just show a bit of professionalism. It's not worked for you. That's fine, but get yourself off the pitch and allow a player to come on that may affect the game. And apparently he went straight down the tunnel. I heard, that he didn't hang around or shake Conte's hand or anything like that. So, look, I think I've not seen a situation like this since, I don't know if you recall, we had a player called Hossam Ghali for a while.
Well, yes, when he threw his shirt.
That's right. So he threw his shirt and was never played again. I don't recall the manager when that happened. I think
it might have been Yol.
I think it was Martin Yol. And Ramos never played him after he came on. And I think it was Harry Redknapp attempted to bring him on as a sub. And the boos around White Hart Lane just still echo in my ears. And Harry Redknapp just asked him to sit down again. So I cannot see after that because the boos were quite heavy.
Yeah.
I cannot see him being able to come on again. If he starts, possibly to come on. Not entirely sure. That may be the last time we've seen him in a Spurs shirt.
Well, we shall see. Now let's move on to the positives. Two players we've been talking about a lot who we think had a great game or a very good game and have certainly grabbed the opportunity under Antonio Conte would be Ryan Sessegnon and Harry Winks. How do you think they played today?
Yep, Sess was fantastic. Even in that first half, I thought he was the only spark of that half. And there was a play. If you were to show an example, I think to an academy player, I would play that half of football and show them Sessegnon's performance, because he didn't let what was going on around him affect him. His game was still very, very solid, and if anything was going to happen, it was going to happen off that left side. So really, really happy with Sess's input in the first half. Winks, I slightly disagree. In that I think he had a very good second half.
Okay.
I do think that he meant the goal, by the way, that free kick, because when you take a free kick from that position, you are always aiming for that back post with the possibility that it's going to go in.
Yep.
So as any player taking a free kick from that position will be aiming there with the potential of it going in. Second half, I think he was phenomenal. I think he worked the ball well. I think he was more aggressive in his play, and I don't blame him too much for the first half. I'm not being critical of him for the first half. I just think that it was a real dysfunctional performance from everybody. So I think he struggled to make an impact. But I'm liking what I'm seeing with Harry Winks.
Okay, so another two players obviously I want to talk about is fringe players that had another chance. What did you think of Tanganga's performance? And then one we really haven't spoken about is obviously the return of Rodon for a game. I mean, for me, Rodon's first half looked very, very shaky, and then it seemed like the opposite, like we said with Harry Winks, basically.
Yeah. I think again, I think starting with Tanganga, first touch, it's not there. He needs a much better first touch, and I think that's what's really been letting him down. He looked again, that whole back unit just seemed very, very uncertain of itself. I can see why Rodon isn't getting any game time now. Conte's come in for a little bit of criticism for not putting him in, but I can see why now. I don't think his confidence is there, and I don't think you can throw him in against a top Premier League side like a Chelsea or a Liverpool at the moment. So again, I'm not sure what the future holds for him, whether it's better that both those players go out on loan. But then again, you say to yourself, right, take him out on loan, and then who do you have? Who have you got as cover? Unless we buy in, and even if we buy in, I still suggest that we may still need them in some capacity. Whether they're going to be willing to bench warm is another matter.
Okay, so we'll get onto the transfers just shortly. There's just another super chat that's coming from Scorpions Fans for Life, who also was at the game, and it said few points. 1, stop playing Dali as a striker. 2, Doherty never takes on his man. 3, Ndombele no forward runs. 4, Gio bad shots. 5, good something GG. I'm not too sure what that GG. Brian and Winks. So I'm guessing that's good games. Good games. There you go. I'm getting used to the lingo here and the jargon. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it wasn't. At the end of the day, we've got to look at it for what it was. It's an FA Cup tie against Morecambe, right? So Delhi being a number 9, and Tanguy sort of being a 10 with having a false 10 as a hill. You still should be looking at creating something for those players. We were creating nothing at all. So to say that it's Delhi's fault or it's Hill's fault under those circumstances. I still think we needed somebody to be able to pick that lock, and I would have expected a lot more from Tanguy and a lot more from Gio in that first half in order to pick that lock. Like I keep coming back to it. We're talking about a team in the bottom half of the first division, and they are coming for a day out without a care in the world at a big stadium. And if you do not have players who have the creativity to break them down, then we've got a problem. I do agree with that super chat, but I think there's a little bit more behind it than just simply saying that Delhi had a bad game, or we need a little bit more. We just need a little bit more spark.
Welcome back, Ben.
What's that?
I said welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, George. You all right?
I'm well. Your face when I actually first started on the feed said it all, really.
Why? What was my face like?
It was one of extreme disappointment. So I mean, that first half was a killer for us at the stadium, having to watch through that. And I don't know, did it come out that they got booed off the pitch? The players got booed off the pitch.
Well, we weren't listening to the commentary and stuff like that, but I mean, it was all over Twitter straight away. So I saw the clips and stuff like that, and it looked damning, to be honest. It looked damning. I mean, I think I didn't hear it properly, but did you liken it to Hossam Ghali's throwing of the shirt to Martin Yole?
Yeah, with Ndombele, I think that's the only way this is going to go. I think if he starts a game, that would, he may get away with it, but to come on as a sub, I think after he got the way that he came off it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
No. All right, George, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for calling in. Always a great caller. And I'm sure we'll speak to you at some point during the week.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you later, George, buddy.
All right, and that wraps up yet another fan show. It feels like a bit of Tottenham therapy today, but we didn't even lose today, but it's still got that vibe about it, doesn't it?
It does. It was the manner of the performance again. It was the first half, and I think it's just it's frustrating that, again, we've had to have the big hitters come out to save our bacon. And that's the frustrating part we take from it. Like we said, everyone's saying those players, all right, someone in the super chat said, stop playing Delhi as a striker. But like we said, this is the kind of game, like the Mura, when he was captain. I think he was captain for the Mura game, was it? Or was it Vitesse?
One of the two.
Whatever game it was, where it was his 50th international European game for us or something like that. And it's... You want players like this to grab the ball by the horns and say, I'm Dele Alli, I'm Tanguy Ndombele, I'm going to show you what I can do, I'm going to put my foot on the ball and I'm going to absolutely dictate this game. And again, it's not happened. And it's just a case of how many times do we keep doing this before we say, right, that's it, you're not doing a job, you're gone, we need an upgrade. And I think, like you said about, one of the things we've got to take from this as well is, like you said against Chelsea, at least this game happened early in the window. And it's been another one for the Deadwood or the people on the fringe where they haven't performed. And there is time to deal with this. Whether we deal with it is another thing.
Well, let's hope Daniel Levy comes back from the Bahamas with a suitcase full of brown paper bags or something like that.
Something like that. Not from McDonald's, from Ndombele.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, I think that is it from us today. You'll be getting clips, press conferences, clips from the fan show and the press conference coming your way very soon. But that's it from us. We'll be back tomorrow morning. I think Sim will be back in the studio tomorrow for the Good Morning Tottenham player ratings and all that stuff. So
I can have a lay-in.
Yeah, Brian can have a lie-in tomorrow. So thank you, everyone, for joining today. Brian, thank you for filling in all week. It's been brilliant to have you here.
As you know, mate, it's always a pleasure when it comes to this channel. And when we get together, we are Tottenham on tour is always good fun. And whilst I'm here, if you guys ever need me, you know where I am. And always for this channel, always.
Thank you very much, bro. And obviously, everyone keep going to subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. Tottenham on Tour. Keep subscribing. They hit 2K today. Let's get them over that 3K marker as well. So everyone go and smash that subscribe button on Tottenham on Tour. Keep smashing that subscribe button on We Are Tottenham TV as well. Smash that like button. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.